So we're about to have this debate, Amir Keith Thurman debate. Waiting for Red Glove Militant to check in. I already sent them the link, so we're just waiting for them to show up so I can take them to school. I see that Terrence Crawford has been made Jeff Horn's mandatory. I knew that was a setup, man. That's why they robbed Manny Pacquiao so they can make Terrence Crawford his mandatory. And Terrence Crawford is gonna beat Jeff Horn, and he's gonna become WBO champion. I see that Terrence Crawford has been So now I got an echo. We currently waiting on Red Glove Militant. I resend them the link so we can get this debate underway. Like Keith Thurman says, don't duck me, son. Yeah, it seems like they done made Terrence Crawford, Jeff Horn's mandatory. See, I knew that was a setup. That's why they robbed Manny Pacquiao so they can get Terrence Crawford that title. He's gonna beat Jeff Horn, probably gonna fight him in Nebraska, in his hometown. Easy victory. It was all a setup, man. They robbed Manny Pacquiao in that fight. Now they done made Terrence Crawford the WBO mandatory. Man, they should have Pacquiao should have saw that setup a mile away. Straight setup. Khan versus Bradley Skeet. Nah, Bradley Skeet, he's not a big enough name, Muhammad. He's not a big enough draw. We looking for Amir Khan versus Keith Thurman or Floyd Mayweather. That's what we want. We don't want no Bradley Skeet. We ain't thinking about Bradley Skeet. Yeah, and I saw Johnny Nelson on IFL TV being very disrespectful towards Amir Khan. I didn't know he was a Kell Brook fan, but you could tell he's a Kell Brook lover because he was talking all kind of disrespectful nonsense towards Amir Khan. I don't know what's up with Red Glove Militant. I resent him the link. Um, we were supposed to have the debate at 5 o'clock. I don't know. It looked like he ducking like Keith Thurman. Let me check this. Let me check his Twitter. Let me see if he got it. Um, he says the link ain't working. Why is the link not working? Let me try something else. Hold on. Okay, we resent him the link. He should have it now. Let's see. What up, Fox? What's going on, bro? See you in the comment section. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Y'all stop playing. Hit that like button when y'all come in. So I'll resend him the link. Hopefully he get it this time so I can school him on this Amir Khan, Keith Thurman debate. He's saying the link is still not working. Let me see what apparently I'm doing something wrong. I don't know what the hell I'm doing wrong, but he's not getting the link. Hold up 1 second, guys. Let me send it to him again. Hold up. Okay, we resent him the link to his email, so he should be stopping in shortly. Let's give him another 5 minutes. What's good, KM? What's good, fam? Waiting on my boy Red Glove Militant to get this link. We're gonna give him another 5 minutes. Apparently it was something I was doing wrong, but he should be dropping in any minute now. So we can get this debate going. I can take him to school on this Amir Khan. Sound like he done dropped in.
Yeah,
Is that you? Yeah. What's going
yeah,
on?
I'm doing good, man. Hold on, just give me
Yeah,
a
man.
sec.
Yeah, apparently it was something I wasn't doing right, sending the link. So I had to
Nah, it's
just
all
do it
good,
by hand.
man.
Yeah.
It's all good. Every time I ever try to do a hangout, there's always been some kind of tough technical difficulty. So I ain't tripping about it, man. It is what it is. So, but before we get started, real quick, I just want to say congratulations to the success on your channel and a little
Oh,
MIA. So this debate ain't about me trying to make you look bad or vice versa. So I want to get that out there. But the first thing I want to say is congratulations on your growth.
Oh, appreciate it, man. At the end of the day, it's all love, man. We brothers, and you've been here since the beginning, man. From day one, supporting me. So I appreciate it. But I got to take you to school though, man. Got to take you to school on Keith Thurman, 'cause I've been seeing you in Zone 6. Y'all been doing a lot of talking against my boy Amir Khan, so I got to defend him. Got to be his lawyer today.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got the right to defend your point. I got
Yeah,
the right to defend
we can
mine.
always agree to disagree at the end of the day, but we'll let the people in the comment section let them decide who won the debate and vice versa.
All right, sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. So how
I'll
did you
let
want
you
to start this off?
you can make your points first. I guess you can keep it under 5 minutes, and I do the same, and we can go back and forth with questions after you get your points out, and I'll rebuttal, I guess.
All right, that's
Why
what's
you
up.
don't believe Keith Thurman is ducking Amir Khan like I believe he's ducking him. And as a matter of
No,
fact, I
I
believe he's ducking the whole welterweight division.
no, I don't believe he's ducking Amir Khan. I mean, as far as ducking the whole welterweight division, I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm waiting to see what his next move is. All right, and um, so I'll do this. I'll talk a little bit about Keith Thurman, and then I'll move on to Amir Khan because this is basically two debates in one. I have a debate that I challenge you to, and then you had a counter debate. So I will go ahead and address your concern first. So as far as Keith Thurman is concerned, all right, as far as the allegations that he faked an injury, you have the right to make those allegations, but at the end of the day, it's not based off of any fact. So, I mean, if he was injured, you can't expect the man to fight while he's injured. We want to see the best fight the best and at their best. All right. You don't want the dude to go in there fighting with one arm. I don't know what the injury was supposedly, to be honest, but if there's an injury that is going to affect his ability to perform in the ring, then he shouldn't perform. And you know, after a somewhat long layoff, I mean, he hasn't been in the ring in 10 months, or it's going to be like 10 months if he does fight in January. Then I mean, it would be understandable for him to take a tune-up. But even with a tune-up, I think he should still fight somebody worth fighting. I don't. I'm not saying he should fight an absolute bum either. He shouldn't fight another Collazo or another, um, you know, Julio Diaz or anything like that. He needs to fight a credible opponent. There, you get no arguments from me. Now, as far as Khan is concerned, all right, since the last time Khan was in the ring, Keith Thurman has fought twice because, if I'm not mistaken, Khan's last fight was in May of 2016. Thurman fought Porter in June of 2016 and then
Mm-hmm.
fought Danny Garcia earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, he's been MIA since. Now, one thing I will say back to Thurman real quick is even before that, the injury thing, one thing I didn't like about Thurman is that he was talking about taking the rest of the year off anyways. So that I did have a problem with Thurman. But back to Khan, he hasn't been in the ring for 18 months. And if you want to dig deeper, he hasn't competed at welterweight for 2.5 years. So why should somebody who's not even competing in the division get a shot at any belt? He passed up his title shot at Danny Garcia. That's not Keith Thurman's fault. There's only one person who made that decision to go and fight Canelo, and that's Amir Khan. So actually, that's all I have to say for my opening. Um, I guess I didn't need the full 5 minutes, but you know, feel free to challenge anything I said or come back to me with any questions.
Well, the debate is the point I'm trying to make. We're here to find out is Keith Thurman ducking Amir Khan. Why do we fight? Why do we prize fight? Well, we fight to get the biggest purse, right? Would you agree with that?
No, not completely. I mean, don't get me wrong. It is a business, but me as a fan, I
So,
see it as
so
a
you don't
sport
believe?
first.
So you don't believe the number one objective for these fighters is to get the biggest purse?
No, I don't think that's the number one objective.
So you
But
don't
that's
think
just me.
So Keith Thurman is not in the game to get the biggest purse? That's what you're saying?
What I'm that what I'm saying is that is a byproduct of what he's trying to do. All right, because the biggest purse isn't always the best fighter, and
Okay,
we've seen that with Triple G.
okay, so we understand some of your points. Okay, let me get this rebuttal in. But the point I'm trying to make is Keith Thurman is wearing that sweet perfume called bitch, and I'll explain why. When you get into the boxing game, your objective is supposed to be to make the biggest purse possible. At 147, Amir Khan is his biggest purse, his biggest payday. He's not once called out Amir Khan. Amir Khan has called him out several times within the past year. Keith Thurman is coming back saying, well, I'm going to let you hear what Keith Thurman said in a recent interview. Let's play what he said. I'm going to let you guys hear what he had to say.
Feel like we're about to bounce back, and I hope you do. So to be realistic and be fair to you, you're gonna probably need a couple tune-up
You
fights.
have to turn it up.
At least one. At least one. You know what I mean? And I fought Shop and I fought Danny. You know, I didn't take nothing in between. You know, I'm coming off of a surgery, so you know, I mean, y'all can't force me to
You
do
still gonna
anything
have to turn it
as
up.
well.
I can't
Just
hear what he's
saying,
saying.
you know, for the fan.
Can you guys hear Keith Thurman, or I need to turn the volume up a little more?
You got to turn it up. I couldn't hear what he was saying. I mean, if you want, you can feel free to paraphrase because I'm not going to be petty and say, well, he didn't say that, you know.
Tremendous at stake right now. In the near future, I mean, I feel good. I feel like we're about to bounce back, and I hope we do.
Yeah, it's hard to make out what he's saying.
You're gonna probably need a couple tune-up fights before you can really get back into. At least one. At least one. You know what I mean? And I fought Sharp and I fought.
So he basically, he was, hold on, I got an echo. So they basically asked him on Fight Hype, who you want to fight when you come back? And the man had the unmitigated gall to say he need a couple tune-up fights. He's not calling out Amir Khan. He's not calling out Errol Spence. Nobody at 147, none of the top fighters. He's talking about tune-up fights. That's not a duck. I don't know what is. Amir Khan straight up called him out. And they both had surgery, right? So why we got one guy talking about fighting tune-up fight? He need 2 or 3 tune-up fights. And you got another guy calling out the best, the champion, who's supposedly supposed to be the best. And to me, that's just a straight up duck. You're not looking for your biggest payday, which is Amir Khan. You're coming back, you're talking about you need 2 or 3 tune-ups. You're saying Terrence Crawford is not relevant. You can't fight him until he becomes relevant. When Keith Thurman is not even a pound-for-pound fighter, Terrence Crawford is number 2 pound-for-pound behind Triple G. So how is he not relevant? To me, Keith Thurman right now, he's, like I said, he's wearing that sweet perfume called bitch, and he's just ducking the whole division at 147.
and he's ducking Amir Khan. Point blank and simple. You ducking your biggest payday. That can't be denied. Amir Khan is his biggest payday. Nobody knows Keith Thurman outside of Florida. Amir Khan is the bigger name. He gives Thurman his biggest payday. That can't be denied, can't be disputed. So anytime you turn down your biggest payday at 147, that's a blatant duck. That's a duck. That's a duck to me, man. And that's my rebuttal.
Okay, fair enough. As far as nobody knowing, and nobody out of Florida knowing Keith Thurman, if you look in your comment section, there's people from Chicago, which is, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, that's Illinois.
Well, casual. I'm talking about casual fans.
Keith Thurman.
Hardcore. These are hardcore fans.
Well, all right. So if you want to talk about casual fans, I'll give you that because I'm not.
We got casual fans in Dubai. You got people in Dubai, England. Amir Khan is known all over the world.
Okay, but what is he known for? Get knocked out by Canelo? I mean, a lot of people are known for a lot of things. I mean, just because he's a bigger name.
Amir Khan has a better resume than Keith Thurman.
Okay, so before we start talking about who got a better resume than who, you have to establish, are we going to say that out of 147 is irrelevant? Or are we going to talk about the body as a whole? Because because the way I see it is this, all right, Shady, you're A side. I'm not like the other people who have tried to debate you. I will admit you are A side. So I'm gonna let you pick you're going to pick by what ground. All right.
Well, you're saying he's only known for getting knocked out. What I'm telling you, as a whole body of work, Amir Khan has a better resume than Keith Thurman.
All right, so
he has Hall of Fame bodies. He has Hall of Fame bodies on his resume.
All right, so give me some names of Hall of Fame bodies. Because
Barrera is a Hall of Famer. Judah is a Hall of Famer. Those are Hall of Fame bodies who Amir Khan has put to sleep and has bodied.
Well, let me correct you there. Amir Khan hasn't put nobody to sleep. Amir Khan has no legitimate knockouts on his resume. The ones that he does have are TKOs. All right, so let me correct you there. Amir Khan has, if you look down his resume, there are 0 KOs there. All right, there's TKOs, and we know that those could be the referee stopping the fight, a doctor. Now I'm not taking away from Amir Khan though. I'm gonna be fair. Amir Khan earned those TKOs. All right, so I'm not gonna take those away from him. But when you say that you're putting somebody to sleep, I'm thinking Marquez Pacquiao. All right, not the referee stopped the fight to save the other guy's life. So let's put this in perspective. Khan has no KOs. All right,
but we can't agree he has a better resume than Keith Thurman. That can't be denied.
All right, if we're going to talk the whole body of work, then yeah, I would say that can't be denied. However, we have divisions for a reason. One thing that you said about Terrence Crawford being number 2, pound for pound. All right, you're absolutely right. I do think that Keith Thurman should not be saying that he's completely irrelevant. However, it is not unreasonable for him to ask for him to have at least one welterweight fight before he gives him a shot. All right.
The number 2, we're talking about the number 2 pound for pound fighter has to jump through hurdles before he get a title shot. Number 2 pound
I'm not saying
pound.
He has to jump. I'm not saying he has to jump through hurdles, Shady. What I'm saying is,
yeah, but being number 2 pound for pound should already qualify you for a title shot. That's basically saying you're the second best fighter. You're the second best fighter in the world.
All right, but let me ask you this, Shady. If he were, so does that mean that he should get the opportunity at a heavyweight shot? He should be challenging. He should be able to fight Anthony Joshua because he's number 2 pound for pound.
Well, he's not a heavyweight. If he were to move up to heavyweight, yeah, that would qualify him.
I find that hard to believe, Shady. You mean to tell me that this guy?
That's like Andre Ward. Let's take Andre Ward for example. if Andre Ward was still #1 pound for pound, and he called out Anthony Joshua, yeah, he should be qualified to get a shot. That's who he wanted. If he moved up the heavyweight.
All right. Well, the way I feel is we're gonna agree to disagree on this, but I just want to make my point, and you can feel free to elaborate, of course, because I mean, if I say my piece, of course you should be able to say yours. But when it comes to that, is the way I see it is Andre Ward, when he moved up to 175, he didn't fight Kovalev right away. He had 3 fights. All right. There's a reason why these things have. Now, do I think that he should have had to go through 3 fights? No, but I just think that's the way that they wanted to kind of build up that fight and to and for Rockefeller or whatever, Jay-Z to get his money's worth out of Andre Ward. I think that had a lot to put, to come into play when it came into that situation. But the point is, he didn't immediately just get a shot at Kovalev. And I personally don't think that it would be right for him to get a shot at, Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder,
So you
just
gonna get your
because he's
chance
number
on.
one.
You gonna get your chance to get bodied. But we ain't about to do no 2-on-1. We ain't about to do no jumps. But you gonna get your chance to get bodied. We all know Keith Thurman don't believe in, even in his heart, he knows he can't beat Amir Khan. He even said it on Dante's boxing channel. I can play the audio. He said he don't believe that he can beat Amir Khan. As a matter of fact, he said it might be a draw. He might get outboxed. So deep down in his soul, in his heart, he know he can't beat Amir Khan. And you guys know it as well. Y'all know that, man. You even admitted that Amir Khan has the better resume. You know he got the better resume.
A resume doesn't win a. Hold on, real quick.
He's the better fighter.
Resumes don't win fights, though. Let me tell you something. All right, he had a better resume than Danny Garcia. And guess what? When Danny Garcia knocked him out, there was not a single referee, there was not a single judge, there was not a single fan who could come out and say, "But he got a better resume, though."
Yeah, Danny Garcia.
Danny Garcia got lucky. He got carried out of that ring with an L.
Danny Garcia got lucky.
Fuck a resume.
Danny Garcia got lucky, landed a left hook with his eyes closed. That's why he ducked the rematch. He knew he got lucky. And Danny Garcia, even himself, hold up. You brought up Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia did an interview in which he said that Amir Khan is better than Keith Thurman. And he's been in the ring with both fighters. Danny Garcia said it out of his own mouth that Amir Khan is a better fighter than Keith Thurman. And he's been in the ring with both.
And let me go ahead and rebuttal that point, because it's very easy to rebuttal. All right. Would it make sense that if I beat fighter A and I lose to fighter B, that I'm going to, if I say, "Oh, but fighter A is better than fighter B," you know what that sounds like to me, Shady? It sounds like sour grapes. It sounds like dude is butthurt. It's not logical, Shady.
So you trying to say he's salty? You trying to say Danny Garcia was salty when he said Amir Khan is a better fighter? That's a weak argument, bro.
Shady,
that's very weak.
Okay, then you tell me the logic that if he was able to beat one fighter and not the other one. Wait, hold on. Let me make it very clear.
You saying the man's salty though? You saying he's salty?
I am saying he's salty because he lost. If you lose to somebody, Shady, people lose and they're salty toward the person who beat them all the time.
Amir Khan lost to Canelo and he still picked Canelo to beat Triple G. So just because you lose to a fighter don't mean you got to be salty and just make up.
All right, but everybody
he made that up because he was salty. Come on, man. That's a very weak point. Very weak.
Everybody is different, and that's a different situation because guess what, Shady? He didn't fight Triple G. And it's not the same thing, Shady. We're talking about somebody who fought both fighters versus somebody who fought only one. Okay? And then some people were different. Danny Garcia got his father blowing smoke so far up his ass. When he lost, he didn't know how to handle it. All right? You can't tell me that there's absolutely no chance that he wasn't salty when he said that. But this is my point that I want to ask you. All right, you tell me, because I'm open minded. Tell me the logic. Okay, it does. You don't even have to put it in the terms with Danny Garcia and with Keith Thurman and Amir Khan. What is the logic for somebody to say that when they were able to beat one and not the other, but they're going to say that the one they beat can beat the one that beat them? You tell me the logic behind that.
I don't
I
think a
want to hear
fighter.
it.
I don't think a fighter has to be salty just because he lost a fight. He can still give his honest opinion at the end of the day. And I believe Danny Garcia gave his honest opinion. He says Amir
Okay.
Khan is a better fighter. Technically, he's a better fighter, which he is.
Okay, but that's not what my question is. My question is, what is the logic? Because you're right. He doesn't have to be salty. There's no question about that. However, it's like I said, his father has blown smoke of his ass so much that he didn't know how to handle the loss. All right. But my question to you is, what is the logic though? What is the logic? What is it that you see in this situation where you could say, okay, because of this and this is why I think this is the logic behind why I think Danny said what he said. It can't just be, well, he just wasn't salty. Okay, it's a possibility he wasn't salty,
I
but
think
what
he
is it that
I
you
think he
saw in the
said what he
situation?
said because he was telling the truth. I don't believe he said that because he was salty. That's your premise. That's your point. You believe Danny Garcia just blowing smoke because he was salty. I don't believe that he was salty. I believe he was giving his honest opinion that Amir Khan is the better fighter, which he is, and the man gave his honest opinion. I'm not going to look for excuses to say, well, he was hurt, he was bitter, he was salty. Nah, I don't believe the man was salty. They asked him a question and he answered it honestly.
Okay, so let me just make sure I understand this correctly.
And even
All right.
even Keith Thurman, the fighter who you're defending, he said his own self. He said Amir Khan might outbox me. We might get a draw with Amir Khan. Amir Khan would be a tougher fight for me than Marcos Maidana. Go check out Dante's channel. You'll see the interview.
Well,
He admitted this his own self, man.
Well, saying that he would be a tougher fight than Marcos Maidana doesn't necessarily mean that he would beat him. It also saying that he would get outboxed by him doesn't mean that he would beat him. He could be saying that he thinks he would be able to knock him out, and it's not unfeasible. I'm not saying that Keith Thurman 100% knocks out Amir Khan, but what I'm saying is this, all right? If you take a look at Amir Khan when he fights orthodox fighters, because his specialty is southpaw. I think you know this, being that that's your favorite fighter. His specialty is going up against southpaw, but when he goes up against orthodox, he has problems because he actually tends to move into their punches. You don't believe me? Take a look at the Canelo fight. He moved right into Canelo's punch. Now, don't get me wrong, Keith Thurman is not Canelo. I'm not going to act like he is. Canelo's a bigger fighter, and more than likely, you could say he's more skilled than him as well.
Go ahead.
But the point is, it doesn't matter how good his speed is. It doesn't matter how fast he is. It doesn't matter what his abilities are. If he doesn't have the ring IQ to match, to know, hey, this guy has some punch, and I need to move away from his punches, not toward them, then it doesn't matter how good he can fight if he's knocked out before the 12th round is up.
Okay, you brought up Canelo. Let's talk about the Canelo fight. Amir Khan was laying the hands of God on Canelo. We can basically agree that Khan was up through the first 5 rounds, according to Adrian Broner, several trainers who saw the fight, who was there live. Fighting a middleweight that night. A middleweight who was 30 pounds. Hold up. A middleweight who was 30 pounds heavier. Amir Khan was dominating him. Canelo Alvarez, this is who we're talking about. Canelo Alvarez, a future Hall of Famer. Who Amir Khan, a welterweight, was dominating. 147 fighter, dominating the middleweight. If Keith Thurman was fighting Canelo Could we say he would win the first 5 rounds or even be up 4-1, or would he get knocked out within the first 2 rounds, which I believe he would?
Okay, well, you can believe he would, but that's not fact. All right. I
So
don't
you
know that
believe he would look as good as Amir Khan was looking? Are you serious?
That's not what I'm saying, Shady. Don't put words in my mouth. What I'm saying is, I think he can. I think he would make it past 2 rounds, and really nobody can say unless the fight
I don't
happens.
think Thurman has
Because
no
I'm not.
skill. Thurman has no skill set whatsoever. He's a come forward power puncher. There's no way he lasts more than 2 rounds against Canelo. No possible feasible way. He would get
And you
knocked
have,
out within. He would get knocked out within 2 to 3 rounds, man. Come on,
and
let's
you
stop
have,
playing.
and you have the
Let's
right to
stop
think
playing.
that. However, you have the right to think that. However, that fight will probably never happen. We'll never find out. All right. But let's focus on an opponent that both Keith Thurman and Amir Khan have fought.
Oh yeah, I'd be
One
happy
that
to
we
talk about
brought up,
common opponents.
Dan,
I'm happy to talk about common opponents.
Danny Garcia. He didn't knock out Keith Thurman, but he sure as hell did knock out Amir Khan. So you mean to tell me that I say Canelo knocks out Keith Thurman, but this is my belief, and I'm not going to try to put it out there like it's fact because this is just my belief, and I think Keith Thurman, when he's active, because it's like I said, I'm not acting like Keith Thurman is perfect. All right, I hate that he's inactive. I think he's royally screwing himself with that, but that's not here nor there. What I will say is this: I think he gets knocked out by Canelo. I think he lasts a little bit longer. And I'm going off of that based off of he didn't get knocked out by Danny Garcia at all. He didn't get knocked down by Danny Garcia at all. But Khan got knocked down at least once before he got knocked out. I think he actually got knocked down twice, if I'm not mistaken. And then the third knockdown was the knockout. So why was Danny Garcia able to knock him down 2 or 3 times, ultimately it ending in a knockout, but he wasn't able to do that to Keith Thurman? It's the same Danny Garcia, just at a different weight class. So I would like to hear that explanation.
Like I said, I'd be happy to talk about common opponents. We're going to talk about Danny Garcia and Luis Collazo. First, we'll talk about Danny Garcia. Amir Khan fought Danny Garcia. We saw through the fight, Danny Garcia getting schooled, all busted up. As a matter of fact, they was getting ready to stop the fight in the 4th round. We all saw his whole eye was all cut open and split open. He lands a left hook with his eyes closed, a miracle hook, which people hit Hail Marys all the time. We saw Aaron Rodgers do it. He landed a Hail Mary left hook, changed the whole fight around. Okay. Danny Garcia fights Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman spends the entire fight running. He ran from Danny Garcia. Amir Khan came forward. Keith Thurman spent the whole fight running, which a lot of fans say he lost the fight because he ran. Then we talk about Luis Collazo. Both guys fought Luis Collazo. Keith Thurman fought him. Amir Khan fought him. Keith Thurman went life and death with Luis Collazo. By the grace of God, he won that fight because of a premature stoppage. The guy sat up there and quit, talking about his eye hurting, whatever fake injury he had. Amir Khan dominated, obliterated Luis Collazo. Luis Collazo hit Keith Thurman to his body. Keith Thurman went running yet again. Got dropped with a body shot by a man who Amir Khan dominated.
All right, let me stop you right there.
Beat from Genesis to Revelations, all 12 rounds.
We can't. Wait, let's start with Genesis to Revelation.
Hold up. He had Keith Thurman running for his life from the 1st inning to the 9th inning. So you want to talk about common opponents? That's a body bag when we talk about common opponents.
I can destroy that right now very easily. Number one, I was at the fight. I was there, Shady.
So you got to see Keith Thurman running live from that body shot.
Hold on. Number one, he did not run from the 1st round to, what was it? I believe it was the 6th round. I could be wrong about that because it's been a little while.
No, we talking about the Danny Garcia fight. He ran.
Well, no,
And the
you
the Collazo fight,
you
he ran after the body shot. He ran to survive after that body shot.
okay, but you said that he dropped him, and this is
He
where
did drop
you
him. He
lose
dropped him.
the
He went down to his knee. Go
you
watch the replay.
he.
Thurman went
I
down
don't
to his
have to
knee.
watch the replay. He did not go down to his knees. He did not get
Watch the
dropped.
replay. Thurman went down to his
Shady,
knee, but the ref
Shady,
missed it.
I have it on my phone. I was there, Shady. He did not. There was not a 10 count. There was not an 8 count. The
No,
fight did not get
what
stopped.
I'm
When there
saying
is a
is
when hold on, because I
hold
let
up, the
you say
ref
what you
missed it.
had to say. But I let you say what you had to say, Shady. Now it's my turn because I'm going to destroy you on this. When it comes to the Luis Collazo fight, there was when a fighter gets dropped, there has to be a standing 8 count. Am I right or am I wrong, Shady? It's a yes or no. Am I right or am I wrong?
If the ref sees it, what I'm telling you, the ref did not catch it. If you watch the replay carefully, Keith
So
Thurman
you mean to
dropped to
tell
one. He
me
dropped to his knee.
you mean to tell me that you saw it and everybody else saw it, but me and the ref are the only ones who didn't see him go down to his knee?
Catch the
Is
replay.
that what
When
you're
Thurman
telling me?
gets hit with that body shot, he drops to one knee. When Collazo
When
catches him with that
you
body shot.
when you are dropped, there is no way, all right, that the referee did not see him go down to his knees. You know why? Because it never happened.
He missed it. It
He
happens all the
never
time.
got
It happens all the time,
he
bro.
never got
Fighters drop to
dropped.
a knee. If you look at Floyd Mayweather and Shane Mosley fight, Mosley
Okay,
hit Floyd. Floyd dropped the one knee and the ref missed it. He buckled him.
all right, buckling and dropping are two different things. Collazo did not drop him. Okay. Now, did he hurt him to the body? Yes. That you're not gonna get no argument from me. You're not gonna get an argument from me. He did not. He did not take that body
Did
shot well.
okay?
All
Did
right,
Collazo
but
buckle? Did he buckle Keith Thurman? Did he buckle him?
yes, he buckled him
That's what I'm
because
saying.
of
He
poor
buckled him to his.
defense.
This is what I'm
Because of
telling you. He
poor
buckled him.
defense,
He buckled him to his knees. Watch the replay.
he did not go down to his knee, Shady. All
So
right,
when
there
he
was no points.
when he
There was
buckled him,
no
he didn't.
points deducted. There was no points deducted. Did he buckle him? Yes. Did he
So
fall
you
to his
agree? So
knees?
you agree that Luis Collazo buckled him, but you're saying he didn't
Yes,
drop to his knee.
absolutely. I agree that he buckled him. All right.
I'm gonna
But
find
there's
that replay
actually
and
one more.
I'm gonna find a replay. I'm gonna play it in a future video so we all can see it.
Okay.
When he buckled, that knee did drop.
All right. I'll be looking for it because he didn't drop him. But you go ahead and you find that clip that don't exist, and I'll be more than happy to watch it. But there is one more common opponent. You forgetting about Julio Diaz, who took it to Amir Khan and did not fare very well against Keith Thurman.
I give you that. I give you that point.
So I mean that there's no argument there with Julio Diaz. He did pretty well. I mean, Amir Khan still beat him. And it's like I said, this to me, this is not about making shitting all over Amir Khan. All right. To be honest, Shady, I want to have a better understanding of why you hold him so high. At the end of
No,
the day, you're
we
his
need that
fan.
fight as the fans. As the fans of boxing, we need that fight. Keith Thurman needs that fight for his legacy. It's like I said, Amir Khan has the better resume. He's the bigger name. He needs to fight. The fan needs to fight.
All right. But if
That's
we're
why we,
gonna look
that's
at
why we that's why we got to get this fight made.
but if we're gonna look at their resumes as a whole, you also have to take into account. Yeah, he has some better names than Keith Thurman, but he also has losses. Yeah, of course, Canelo is better than any name that Keith Thurman has on his resume. But let's be honest, Shady, he had no business in the ring with Canelo. There was no reason for him to take that fight at
Hey,
all. He
down to
gave
be
up.
great. Down to be
He
great. Oscar De La Hoya has several losses.
I don't know what happened. Yo, yo, you there? Shady? Shady. Hey, yo, you there?
Hello.
All right. I don't know what happened, man. Can you hear me? Shady, can you hear me? I don't know what happened. You there? Shady. Yo, yo, Shady.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. I think one of our connections probably went out.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
If I'll tell you what, because I know that we both only have so much time and everything. I mean, I'm we go as long as you like, but I understand if you would like to try a part two just because of the technical difficulties and everything.
Oh yeah,
I don't even know what the last thing you heard me say.
yeah, we definitely gotta redo it because of the technical difficulties, man. We definitely gotta do a part two. It was a pretty good live debate, man. I think it's nothing wrong with disagreeing, agreeing to disagree. We both made some valid points, in my opinion, and it's pretty good, healthy boxing conversation at the end of the day.
It is.
You believe your fighter gonna beat Amir Khan? You believe he gonna win? And I'm gonna always roll with my fighter, so it's gonna be good boxing conversation, and there's nothing wrong with it.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with your love for Amir Khan. I just don't understand it. That's all I'm gonna say.
We state facts. When we talk about Amir Khan, we stating facts. You got fighters out here ducking and dodging. You got to call them out on it.
All right, but one thing I have to say though is, Shady, you have to admit, man, he hasn't been competing. It's kind of hard to duck somebody who is not fighting. I mean, yeah, I know.
With Mayweather and Pacquiao retired, his name holds a lot of weight at 147. You're not gonna get a bigger payday than Amir Khan at 147. You got a big name like that, your name automatically should give you a big fight.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't see it that way. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand there's bigger names in the sport than others. However, the names aren't what win fights. You got two men in a ring who are throwing hands, and either the judges are going to decide who wins that fight, or one of those fighters is going to not leave it up to the judges. And it doesn't matter who has the bigger name.
Yeah, but you fight for purses. Like Floyd Mayweather said, I don't fight for legacy. I don't fight for records. I fight for that check. At the end
Yeah,
of the
but
day, each boxer fights for that check. You fight for the biggest purse possible. That's what
that's
these
not.
guys in the game for. At least that's what you're supposed to be in the game for. If Keith Thurman ain't in the game to get the biggest purse possible, why is he in the game?
Hey, let me put it to this way. All right, Jack Johnson, he didn't make nowhere near as much money as what these guys make today, even with inflation and everything. Okay, he was a legacy fighter. All right. At the end of the day, what do you want to be known for? And I mean, I get your point. I'm not saying your points are not valid when it comes to that.
But
You just see the
even when we
sport
talk about
differently than
legacy,
I do.
even when we talk about legacy, beating Amir Khan will cement Keith Thurman's legacy. If he goes out and beat him, look at what happened with Danny Garcia. When Danny Garcia beat Amir Khan, that changed his whole life. Danny Garcia became a huge star. Can you imagine if Keith Thurman went to the UK and beat Amir Khan or either knocked him out? Keith Thurman would be a bigger star than he is right now. That's valid, man. I'm telling you. He would be a
Well, he
bigger
would be a
star
bigger star.
and
He
he would
would be
get
a
a
bigger
bigger
star.
payday.
And I agree with you there. He would definitely be a bigger star. There's no doubt about that. However, he doesn't. If you're coming off of an injury and a layoff, you're gonna want a tune-up.
Yeah, but Amir Khan, he had surgery too. He ain't talking about fighting no tune-ups.
He ain't talking about fighting nobody.
He called out.
Shady.
He called out Keith Thurman. Go check the interviews. He called out Keith
When
Thurman. Said he would take him in his next fight.
Okay, I will check that out
Check out Fight Hype.
because being
Imagine
that
him
I'm
with
not.
tune-ups. Well, we got Keith Thurman on the other hand. He's saying he need 2 or 3 tune-ups. Guys need to be relevant before he can fight them. He
See,
said
and
he'd
when it
rather
comes to
he
the
spar than we see Keith Thurman sparring in the street. I mean, it's all kind of stuff going on with Keith Thurman. He wearing that sweet perfume, man, called bitch. And I hate
well,
to
if
say
he
it, but that's what Keith Thurman is doing right now. I know y'all.
if
He got a
he
lot of supporters. You Zone, y'all guys backing him, but man, he got to get it together. He got to become that old one time. I missed that one time when he first came onto the scene. He was calling out everybody. I don't know where that Keith Thurman at, but we need to get him back. That's the Keith
And,
Thurman.
and that's where I can agree with you. He he does need to do that again. All right, he's way too inactive. You know, I'll be damned if I'm going to support him coming back, taking a tune-up, and then taking another 10, 11, 12 months off. I'm not gonna co-sign on that. However, Amir Khan himself is coming off of a loss from over a year and a half ago, and a very shaky win off of Chris Algieri. He did not look good against Algieri. There is no reason why Khan should have not been able to dominate Algieri, and he didn't. He didn't dominate him. He looked piss poor. Now that could have been a bad night for Khan. It happened, but I don't know with his knockout losses, all right, and not having any credible names in 147. I just don't see how he automatically gets a shot at the throne.
Well, Amir Khan took Chris Algieri hard away from him. Chris Algieri has never been the same fighter after getting beat by Amir Khan. We saw that in the Errol Spence fight. He's never been the same fight. He took that boy hard from him. Took his soul.
I
He gave a
don't
lot,
think
but
he.
he received a lot just to get his punches in. But
I
watch
don't
that
think he.
fight. Chris Algieri took a lot of punishment, even though he gave out. Yeah, he got a few punches in, but he's never been the same fighter afterwards.
He got more than just a few punches in, Shady. But so you're completely
That
discrediting
boy
Spence, though.
took a
Are
beating
are
for
you?
12 rounds straight.
So you're saying that the only reason why Spence was able to beat him the way that he did is because of Amir Khan. That's what you're telling me.
Yes, Amir Khan already had took his soul from him. Same with Triple G. He already took
You,
Kell Brook's soul and took his heart from him. Kell Brook will
you,
never Kell Brook will never be the same fighter after what Triple G set up there and did to him. Never.
yeah, but Amir Khan is not Triple G, and I did not. If you, to me, when you say that he took his soul from him, there would have been a point where there should be a point there where I should be able to say this is the point where he took his soul from him and Chris Algieri gave up. However, I watched all 12 rounds and I cannot find a single spot in that fight where I'm like, all right, Chris Algieri, he's had enough. He's just trying to not get knocked out at this point. That never happened. I have to disagree with you. Yeah, I mean, maybe we have different definitions of what it means to take somebody's soul from them. I mean, what Terrence Crawford did to Postal, that was taking his soul from him. You know, he didn't know what to do with Terrence Crawford. You know, it was basically like,
You
well,
keep
I guess
taking
I'm just gonna
punishment,
get
keep
paid.
taking punishment, keep coming forward, keep getting hit, and you don't want to fall, and you wind up shortening your career by not just falling. You wanted to keep coming forward, getting hit. Brr, pop, brr, pop. Amir Khan just popping him, and he wound up taking more punishment than he should have took. He should have just went down and gave himself up, but he showed too
Okay,
much
well,
heart. Now you look at him. When the last time we saw Chris Algieri?
now,
Can't even
I
remember the
mean,
last time we saw him.
like
Nobody
you
haven't seen.
got you got a point there. I mean, it could have been Chris Algieri not fighting smart, but I mean, he's taking worse punishment. I mean, he didn't get knocked down by Amir Khan. He got knocked down 6 times by Manny Pacquiao. I mean, maybe it was Manny Pacquiao that took the soul out of him then. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to go by that logic. Like I said, to me, when you say that a fighter took the soul out of another, the way I see it is there's a point you should be able to point out a certain something that happened where it's like, all right, this guy I could tell you right now, I'll give you an example. Mosley versus Pacquiao. When Pacquiao knocked down Mosley, you could tell for the rest of that fight, all he was trying to do is not get knocked out, not get knocked down anymore, and get that payday. So that's my
Let me
definition.
ask
Like I
you
said,
this: at 147 currently, with Pacquiao and Mayweather being retired, who would you say is Keith Thurman's biggest payday?
well, it's definitely Amir Khan, but you have to remember, you're not talking to somebody who based things off of names and paydays. I base things off of who is actually proven. It's like I said, I think the person who deserves it more than anybody else right now is Porter, because Porter took it to him. That was a very hard fight to say somebody won definitively. I don't feel that way about the Garcia fight. I just don't. I don't see it that way.
So you're telling me that you do agree that Amir Khan is Keith Thurman's biggest payday now?
He is. He's the biggest payday.
When have we seen in boxing where a fighter presents your biggest payday and the champion doesn't call out his biggest pay? When have we ever seen that? When Sugar Ray Leonard was the man, everybody called out Sugar Ray Leonard in the 80s. When Mike Tyson was the man, everybody called out Mike Tyson, wanted to fight the biggest payday. When have we seen a champion not want to fight his biggest payday in the sport of boxing? That's unheard of.
No, it's not, Shady.
If Mayweather was fighting right now, everybody would call out Floyd because Floyd represents your biggest payday. You just said Amir Khan is Keith Thurman's biggest payday. Why is he not knocking down doors, kicking down, screaming, I want Amir Khan in the UK to get my biggest payday? Why is he not doing that?
All right, well, first off, I want to address something you said. You said that is unheard of, which could be further from the truth. We hear about it all the time. We see these guys avoid their biggest paydays all the time. Look at the middleweight division. Just look at it. Before Canelo went into that division, Triple G was the biggest payday there because there wasn't really nobody there.
We all know Canelo was wearing that sweet perfume called Bitch. I agree with you there. Canelo turned down his biggest payday. So
then you would agree. So you would agree. But my point in bringing that up is this.
Triple G represented Canelo's biggest payday, and Canelo turned it down. I absolutely agree.
Okay. So then that means you also agree that it's not unheard of. Because just a second ago you said it was unheard of, but now you're telling me that Canelo avoided his biggest payday. So apparently it's not unheard of.
And why did Canelo avoid his biggest payday? Why did he avoid it?
Because he was afraid of him.
And hold up. And why is Keith Thurman avoiding his biggest payday at 147?
The reason why he's avoiding his biggest payday is because right now there's bigger threats. There's people who are more deserving. There's nothing that other than the payday. All right. And you have to remember, So
you're trying to sit up here and say that Keith Thurman he's more concerned about his legacy than getting his biggest payday. If he was concerned about his legacy, he would be trying to become undisputed. So it can't be the legacy aspect of it. He ain't trying to become undisputed. He's talking about tune-up fights.
Okay, well, as far as the 2 or 3 tune-up fights, I have to hear it for myself. I haven't heard that. So I will look into that further, and then we will revisit that.
He needs 2 or 3 tune-up fights before he can start back fighting legitimate contenders at welterweight.
All right, and we will
check it out for you.
We will revisit that. All right, but him taking at least 1 tune-up fight, and like I said, it shouldn't be the weakest one either, is not out of the question after an injury and long layoff. However, okay, you say he's not trying to become undisputed. Did he not go after Danny Garcia and collect that second belt?
Danny Garcia was the weakest fight at 140. Everybody went after Danny. Sean Porter.
Yeah, but he tried.
Sean Porter is still calling out Danny Garcia after a loss. Who don't want to fight?
Yeah, but he also tried to fight.
Danny Garcia was coming up in weight from 140. That's a 140 pounder. Of course.
Yeah, but he also
Danny Garcia. He ain't trying to sit up there and fight Terrence Crawford, Amir Khan, guys that can actually box.
No, but they don't.
A smaller fighter coming up for 140.
But Shady, you brought up undisputed. Terrence Crawford and Khan don't have belts at 147. So let's focus on who does. All right. So Kell Brook had the IBF title at the time, and Keith Thurman did try to fight Kell Brook. All right. So you can't tell me.
Turning down his
So
biggest
you can't.
payday, which is Khan, is because of his legacy.
But I'm not talking about paydays.
Jeff Horn and Errol Spence. Has he called out Errol Spence or Jeff Horn?
Right now, he's talking about tune-ups, and that's because of an injury and a layoff. Okay, but let's talk. We're going back to what has happened. Okay, he did try. You said, well, of course he fought Danny Garcia. He was the weakest champion. But you're ignoring. Hold on, but you're ignoring. But you are ignoring.
We talking about this Keith Thurman. This Keith Thurman here is ducking and dodging fighters. You ain't talking about what the old.
His last. Well, hold on. It's not the old Keith Thurman because he fought Garcia because the whole thing with Kell Brook didn't work out. Kell Brook decided that he was also going to make a stupid decision and go fight Triple G. That's not Keith Thurman's fault. But you can't say, well, of course he fought Danny Garcia because he was the weakest champion, but then ignore the fact that he tried to make a fight with Kell Brook.
I don't recall him ever trying to make no fight with Kell Brook.
He was trying to make a fight with Kell Brook.
Send me the link to the interviews and the links to the. I need to see some links.
They had little back and forth, and then Kell Brook decided that he was going to go fight Triple G. But Kell Brook was in the conversation. And then, of course, let's not also forget that he was wanting to fight Manny Pacquiao, because you're talking about Horn and Spence. They weren't champions at the time. All right? Some things have happened since the last time we've seen Keith Thurman in the ring. A lot more has happened since the last time we've seen Khan in the ring, because Khan hasn't. Here's the thing, Shady. Not only has Khan not fought anybody in the last year and a half, he's not even at the negotiation table. Yeah, he's still talking about that he wants to fight Floyd Mayweather, but who doesn't? I'd fight Floyd Mayweather right now with being 0-0. So of course, so you can't even count that one. I'll assume that you're right with, that he called out Keith Thurman. I haven't heard it. Okay. But Keith Thurman has also talked about fighting Amir Khan. Maybe not recently. I got to listen to those interviews you brought up.
Like I said, that's that old Keith Thurman. We need that Keith Thurman back. We don't know where he went. We got to put up a lost and found poster for that Keith Thurman. If that Keith Thurman can return, yeah, we might get the Amir Khan fight or Errol Spence fight, Terrence Crawford fight. This Keith Thurman here done set up there and got married. He been drinking pina coladas. He ain't trying to fight nobody legit. I don't know why you guys can't see it. Keith Thurman Keith Thurman has changed, bro. He's changed. He's a changed man. I don't know what happened.
You can't hold his marriage against him. If you notice, I didn't bring up anything having to do with Amir Khan's personal life. And the reason why is because it's really irrelevant.
Figure out why Keith Thurman has set up there and changed. We both can agree that he ain't the same Keith Thurman.
But we could do the same thing with Amir Khan and try to figure out why he ain't fighting nobody and why he ain't talking about fighting nobody. We could do the same thing with him. Very easily.
He'll be back in December. And he ain't talking about no tune-up. He need 2 or 3 tune-ups.
Then who is he talking about fighting?
He said he'll be back in December. We looking at
But who is he talking about fighting? That's what I want to know.
He called out Keith Thurman.
So he calls out Keith Thurman after he's been on a layoff with an injury.
Like I said,
that's who he's calling out.
Both guys done had surgery. Amir Khan had surgery on his hand. Keith Thurman, he say he had surgery on his elbow. Hey, you both coming off surgeries. Let's make the fight. We don't need 2 or 3 tune-ups. We don't need all that.
I'm going to be honest, Shady. It would not surprise me if Amir Khan retires in the not-too-distant future without any further fight. But, I mean, we'll see if he fights anybody in December, because right now, here's the thing. He can call out everybody that he wants to. If he's not going to the negotiation table, if he's not talking to his manager, if he's not talking to Al Heyman to try to make something happening, then all the call outs that he's doing do not
one thing
mean
we gonna say,
shit.
the fight is gonna eventually is gonna happen. Because like I said, Amir Khan is the biggest name at 147. Eventually, one of these sanctioning bodies is gonna rank Amir Khan as a mandatory. And when that happens, all the ducking and dodging is gonna be over with. We already know it's coming. One of these sanctioning bodies will rank Amir Khan as the mandatory. They just did it with Terrence Crawford. They made him mandatory for the WBO. So when you hold weight like Amir Khan holds, it's just a matter of time before we get one of these number one spots, and all that ducking and dodging is gonna be over. And like Lomachenko fight, Lomachenko and Rigo, guys gonna have to put up or shut up. And when the fight
Okay.
happens, I'm taking all Keith Thurman fans' money. I'm telling y'all right now, I'm taking the money.
you you might be eating crow, bro. But real quick, because I want to ask you this, and it's related. All right. So one of the things that I've heard you say a couple times is that Keith Thurman gets no respect because he didn't fight Amir Khan before getting his shot at the WBC, which
Yeah,
in my
he didn't earn that WBC title. No.
okay. So all right, I just want to see how consistent you are with this. Let's say Amir Khan would have beat Canelo, all right, and you don't even really have to answer this. This is just food for thought. If you want to, you can answer this, but at the end of the day, I won't hold it against you if you don't. But I really want you to think about this. If Amir Khan would have beat Canelo, would you be saying the same thing about Amir Khan because he didn't beat Triple G to get that shot? Because Triple G was the mandatory. Would you be saying the same thing, or would you be playing favoritism toward Khan while shitting on Keith Thurman for the same thing?
Yeah, technically, Amir Khan, he wouldn't have been the true middleweight champion had he beat Canelo, but beat Canelo would have been a way better win than beating a Danny Garcia. That's a more legitimate win than beating a guy coming up from 140, the weakest champion at 140 that got a title at 147.
Okay. Well,
So
I
yeah,
mean,
I would agree that beating Canelo, that wouldn't have made him the true legitimate middleweight champion. We all know you got to go through Gennady Golovkin.
well, Shady, I have to say, man, I'm proud of you. Real talk. A lot of these people, I hear a lot of people talk shit about you, and I ignore them. When people leave stupid ass comments about you on my videos, I delete them. If I see them, I delete them because I'm like, I don't think it's accurate representation of you. And right now, you just, in my opinion, you just showed your character to me and anybody who sees this video that you're not just 100% a con dick rider. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one of the things that you get accused of. So I want to commend you on that, man. But we definitely have to do a part two. Both of us have some interviews to watch.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah, we definitely got to come
and
back because we had a little technical difficulty, so we gotta run it back.
but one thing that I want to say is I hope that this demonstrates that debates can be done civilly. Yeah, we talked over each other a little bit, but that's going to happen in any
The
conversation.
Lakers.
My girl talks over me all the time, and it bugs me like no end. But it happens in conversation. But at the end of the day, you and me, we're still friends.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
we didn't cuss
and,
each other out. We didn't say, "Man, I'm coming to see you." I ain't come.
oh no,
I'm from Florida, but I'm from Miami, but I'm not coming to see you though. I'm happy in Georgia
no,
right now, but I ain't
no.
coming down to see you. You ain't coming to see me.
If
We still
if you and
cool.
me, if you and me were coming to see each other, is to chill, to have a good time, maybe watch some boxing matches, maybe do some collaborations. But we
Yeah,
ain't pulling out guns on each other. We ain't
we'll be
talking
living
about
chill.
that.
We ain't pulling out no guns, no rifles, no knives, no
We ain't
forks.
saying I ain't said Shady, catch me outside. How about that? We don't got none of that going on. But much respect to you. Like I said, I think you definitely cleared up in my eyes the fact that you would say that Amir Khan wouldn't be the true, middleweight champion. I think that says a lot about you. I think a lot of people have the wrong idea about you, and I hope that question kind of at least
And
somewhat cleared up.
the fun really starts if the fight actually gets made. We gotta
Exactly.
we gotta get a panel together. We're gonna get like 2 or 3 Amir Khan fans against the Keith Thurman fans. If the fight
And I
does
already
get
know.
made, oh man,
I already know who I'm
we're gonna really
picking.
have some fun with it.
I already know who I'm picking. It's gonna be Zone 6 and Duke Oden. The
Yeah,
three
see,
of us. You.
Zone tried to he tried to get in today to do a 2-on-1 jump. We couldn't allow that though.
Big shout out to Zone 6, man. I
Yeah,
really
shout out to
like
my
him.
boy Zone 6. Y'all guys go subscribe to his video. Also, Red Glove Militant, you guys subscribe to his channel as well. Him and Zone 6, man. Both my dudes, good guys, good channels.
All right, man. So this is your channel. This is your hangout. It's up to you to land this thing.
All right, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the debate. Well, we didn't really debate. We're just going back and forth. We still cool at the end of the day. Just a difference of opinion. We're gonna agree
This
to
was like a
disagree.
spar.
We coming back with a part 2 soon. So
This was like a sparring match.
yeah, just a little sparring. A little sparring. You want to give out any info, any Twitter, or your page, YouTube, where we check out?
Sure. So anybody who want to check me out, it's Red Glove Militant, formerly YTVC student. So you type in either of those, I'll come up. Trying to be more active again. So please feel free to check out some of my past videos. And my Twitter is, I believe it's still YTVCS or at YTVCS. But check me out on Twitter if you want. I try my best to be on there, and hope everybody enjoyed the debate.
With that said, we out. Peace.